Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Frostbite tribe. In the last episode, a trio of our packmates were separated from the rest of the tribe when a balance bear stumbled out from the darkness, and they were tasked with the duty of making sure that it stays away from all of our babies. Our babies, of course, which include Lavender back here, the very unexpected guild water baby of the tribe. So Splash's own contribution to this litter. Just like Vankir gave us the digging trunk, we were actually hoping for many more digging trunks from this pairing since they both have it in their inactive traits. But so far, every single baby has been completely different. We have a little bit of Splash in Lavender, we have a little bit of Vankir maybe in Violet, since she can harvest up quite a few of those roots on the mountainside with her digging trunk. And then a lot of you mentioned that the newest little male contribution to the tribe is quite a bit similar to the male reincarnation of our goddess of war. So as a nod to his warrior side, I think we'll go ahead and name him Thorn, so that he'll still fit alongside all of his little flower siblings, but he'll be able to possibly protect Lavender as she starts making her way toward the ocean. She is going to have to find a way to contribute with her gills after all, and since we don't have any streams on this mountain, I think the only place she's going to be able to turn her attention to is the ocean itself. I'm honestly not sure if we're going to find any fish in the water. We haven't really gone very deep into the ocean before because we haven't had any gills to do so, but I do know that there are tons and tons of leeches. In fact, we can see one of them staring straight at Amethyst right now. I'm pretty sure this is where all of the leech colonies actually were, so we might want to bring her around this way so she can become our very first leech slayer. The leeches will give us one piece of food each, so at least it would be a way for her to contribute with her very unique set of skills, but she will also need somebody to help her with all of the leeches that get to her first. So hopefully little Thorn will be able to do just that once he grows his second gem, but for now we'll have Lavender start making her way toward the water. Since she does have the big body and the medium tail, she should be hardy enough to take care of herself at least for now, and she can scope out the water a little bit. Maybe she'll find some crabbits to possibly attack later, and then we can turn our attentions back to gathering food for this growing family. So luckily we do have a nice tasty root right in the ground next to Snowdrop, and maybe if we move Fawn around the family, she can settle herself next to all of these nests, just to make sure that all of the babies are safe if their parents do decide to leave and find food, because she has kind of turned into like the babysitter of the tribe. She's always making sure that the babies are nice and warm and fed, and it's particularly fitting because she does have a hard time getting around. She has made the most out of it though, despite her little frog toes and her crippled paw, and she has found that she really does enjoy the company of all of these adorable little babies. So let's have Snowdrop move out of the nest now that she can safely leave her babies behind in the care of Fawn, and let's have her sniff around a little bit more too. I mean, we do have some bunnies up here that hopefully we can snag with somebody else, but it doesn't look like there's any more tasty roots. So instead, maybe Thistle could jump up this way and chase after the bunny for us. There we go. And I do see a couple more bunnies skittering into the snow as well. Now you back here, Silver, you were actually chasing some bunnies too, and look at that! This little bunny doesn't even know that you're lurking right behind it. So pick up the meat that you gathered up in the last turn, and then jump right over this big mound of snow and snatch that one up for us too. She is definitely a very apt hunter for the mountainside. She was the one who had the gray fur in her genetics, which lets her blend in with the snow a little bit more easily, and that's why the bunnies can't see her. Now likewise, we have plenty of potential hunters over here too, so maybe Fang should start gathering them together to hunt for bunnies on the other side of the island. Since we haven't been over here in a while, I'm actually hoping that maybe something spawned like on one of the deer. We haven't actually seen the deer yet on this mountain, so it would be wonderful if we could snack on a nice big deer and really help boost our food stores. So let's have Fang start making her way off into the snow. We could have maybe Avalanche follow her. I'm sure she would be able to help out with all of the bunny collecting, and then maybe even Pine could go too. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this is Mulberry's very last turn, so she's not going to be able to do too much on the bunny hunting aspect, but instead we could bring her toward the shore because she might be able to scout out some shells. We'll have Flurry follow her too, since she does have the nimble fingers, so she might also be able to pick up any if Mulberry can't get there in time. Let's see, do we have any shells out here? Oh, there's one, but unfortunately Mulberry is just a little bit too short. So at the very least, she was able to find one of the shells on her last turn, and she can show it to Flurry so she'll be able to collect it as soon as the day passes. And now we have Amethyst back here too, who has become like our lonely wanderer. She is very, very secluded out here. She was actually talking to Corella and Ruby for quite a while before, so I'm wondering if maybe she also wants to leave on her own. She's not doing us very much good on the shore though, because she can't really collect the shells, and she doesn't have anyone to attack the Crabbits with. So instead, let's bring her up the mountainside to see if there we go she can find any bunnies. Now you are definitely not going to be able to blend in with the snow very well, but I suppose we can at least chase the bunny down. We do want to make sure we remember exactly where that is so you can snatch it up on the next turn. Now let's see if we can maneuver all of you around these rocks on the mountainside. Thankfully they all appear to be over here, so we can keep moving Fang right down the middle, and she should be able to hopefully make it toward the shores over here. This was actually where they were born, if I remember correctly. We should have a permanent nest by maybe one of these stumps. Is that where we set up camp? Maybe we actually made the nest, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to investigate though. I'm sure they would enjoy going back to their old childhood home at some point. Why don't you, Pine, sit on top of this stump for now just to light up the area for us, and then she'll follow them later. Now I have a feeling Fang probably assumes that her brother Nip is going to follow her to hunt, but instead I wonder if they hear the calls from this trio over here with the bear. I'm sure they are calling for backup right now because this bear is looming right down on them. Now last time we named the bear just to keep track of her, and I think we'll do the same this time too. We'll name this one Snowflake. We're giving them very, very unimposing names so that our tribe feels confident to take them down. And Rala should be able to land a couple good blows on her too, because she can scoot away very far. So let's have her hit her twice, and then she can jump way down here past Nettle and in between the leech apparently. We'll have to keep a very close eye on that. Now Nettle might be able to jump in and land a good blow on it too. Then we can have her sit on top of the stump instead and light up all of the other leeches. Koanais doesn't have much energy left in her because she only has 2 days remaining, but she is not going to take this lying down either. She's going to land a nice good blow on the balance bear, and let's see, how much more life do we have? 53 days, so we are definitely doing a good job whittling away at it, but unfortunately we don't have a way to poison her just yet. That is why we're calling for backup though. That is why Nip is going to start making his way down the mountain with Anasi, I suppose. She also has quite a bit of experience with the balance bears after all, so they should be able to help quite nicely. It will take them an extra turn to get down there, but they are on their way, so don't worry guys, pretty soon you will have a little bit of help taking care of this balance bear. Now Fang is going to be worried sick when she realizes that Nip has completely disappeared because of course that was the one mission that her mother gave her, to make sure that Nip was safe and sound because at the time he was the only male on the island. So I'm sure she's going to be feeling a little bit upset with herself when she realizes what happened. But since we're out of tasty roots in the immediate area, why don't we have Snowdrop sit right next to Goji so they can have one more baby together. This next turn is going to be her last, so we'll make sure that she sits on top of her little clover nest again so she can have one last baby. Now I believe the most important thing to watch right now would probably be the balance bear, just to make sure it's far enough away so that it won't attack our creatures. Let's go ahead and skip the day. There we go, I think we're okay. We're just far enough away and all of the snow is melting too. So it is actually getting a little bit warmer on the mountainside and that seems to have called out all of the bunnies. Oh Nip, it is so close to you. Could we maybe have Thistle go after instead though? I wonder, maybe it'll actually scoot toward us if we use somebody else's turn first. In fact, if we have Thistle pick up his meat, then we can see where the bunny is going to go, toward the stumps apparently. Okay. At least we know it's a wise bunny because it's not running straight into the jaws of our pack mates. So let's have a Silver pick up her meat too. I guess we'll have her leave the route behind though for somebody with the digging trunk to get later. And instead, maybe she can chase the bunny toward Thistle a little bit more. Let's have her loop around this way. Oh no, I think she might be scaring it off in the opposite direction. It's actually going a little bit closer to Goji. So let's see if Goji can chase it down. Since he does know that the babies are being watched after by Fawn, he would also feel safe enough to try to gather up some food for his babies. And yes, actually, we can, oh my goodness, not only grab this bunny, but scatter all of the rest of them. So we do have quite a few bunnies watching over this battle with the balance bear, which is quite interesting. I guess it's because they are not in the crosshairs of the balance bear, so they feel safe enough to watch this go down. Now let's have Nip try to swoop in too, because we do want him to get there as soon as possible. Oh my gosh, all of these bunnies too. I am torn, because I definitely want them to get to the balance bear as soon as possible to help them out. But at the same time, I mean, this is some free food just sitting here. We might want to have Anasi jump in here and grab up a couple of them at least. And really, little guy, really, you're running away from the danger on the top of the mountain, but straight into the arms of the balance bear. But we should still be able to have Nip swoop in and get ready to land a hit with his poison fangs. In fact, let's settle him behind the balance bear just so we can rest assured that it won't go back toward our babies. So the cavalry has almost arrived for you guys. I suppose we could have Nettle maybe grab this bunny though and pick up the meat too, and then you guys will have to do the honors attacking the bear just like before. Now because this should be Koanaisa's very last turn, I think maybe we should just use all 3 of her points of energy to attack the bear. At this point that would probably be the best use of the rest of her time on the island. And now Snowflake only has 38 days remaining on her lifespan, so we are getting there. Slowly but surely, we are tiptoeing our way toward another huge feast. Now, did we successfully take care of all of the bunnies on this side of the island? Well, aside from the one that's in the ocean right now, I think that's just about it. And we do have another tasty root up here too. Okay, maybe that could be Violet's very first tasty root. She could get all the way up there. I mean, look how fast she can move. It must be because she has the running leg. Yeah, that's probably it. Most of her siblings have inherited the double claws instead, of course, so she is quite a bit faster than they are. But that's good for us because she can zip all the way up here for this root and dig it up right away. So her mother is going to be very, very proud of her, watching her dig up all the roots just like she did when she first made her way over to this side of the island. She actually dug up all of the roots along the way from where we arrived, which I believe was way over here. That feels like so long ago now. I was actually taking a look at some of the other islands that we have access to. We of course have the Killer Island over here, and we also have the jungle, which I don't think our creatures are particularly prepared for. So if we did have to escape this island to possibly gather up some more food, I think we would probably either pick this one right here, or maybe the Killer Island. Maybe if we want to be really, really reckless, we could try that too. I mean, technically we are on the Killer Mountain, right? So maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But let's have Snowdrop sit down on her nest. We'll have Thorn go right over here so he's still next to Little Fawn, so she can take care of him, and then Snowdrop can settle herself down right on top of all of these clovers, and I suppose pick up the other nest too. We might as well, so that we have access to all of that material in case anyone else wants to start a family in the meantime. Now you, Lavender, why don't you start making your way a little bit further into the ocean just to kind of scope out the area. It's a little bit unfortunate that she doesn't have some way to pick up the shells. That would probably be the best use of her skills if she could crack open the shells. Oh, and look at that! I didn't realize that they couldn't smell if they have the gills too. It doesn't give them any boost in their smelling abilities, so she's not really going to be able to use her sense of smell to find any leeches, though that does make sense. If she is deep in the water, she's not really going to be sniffing around for any fish. So maybe it would be a good idea to have her start wrapping her way around the mountain to get to where we found all of the leeches before. Now you, Little Flurry, you can go ahead and pick up this shell right here, and then I think we had some more down the shore, right? Though because this is her very last day, she might be meeting the same fate as Mulberry. Oh, the exact same fate, just a little bit too far away from the shell. So we do know that there are some shells to collect, but unfortunately Flurry is not going to be able to do that. Maybe she can pass along the information to Amethyst so she can bring it to some of our cracker-jawed creatures, because I think she probably will continue making her way toward the alphas of the tribe. Right now that's only Fang, and of course Snowdrop back here, but she's going to be passing away. I wonder who she's going to pass the crown to though. Would it be a Lavender with her very, very unique abilities and her double claws? She does have a very high attack strength, actually, a 7. So if we follow the rule of strength in the tribe, then she would be the front runner. But Orchid passed the crown over to Snowdrop just for her digging trunks, so maybe she would do the same for Violet, especially as she's already gathering up so much food for them with her digging trunks, so maybe we have a little bit of a split on our hands. I suppose we'll have to see where their journeys lead them to figure out which one would take control of the island, because as it might be, Lavender will probably want to spend most of her time in the water anyway, so she won't be able to do much leading as she's trying to find all of those leeches. So it might end up being Violet by default because she's going to spend so much time on land and around all of her tribe mates. Now let's see, maybe we could have a Fawn try to sniff out some more of those tasty roots. We don't want her to get too far away from the baby, of course, because Snowdrop is going to pass away, so she might actually have to stay right here, wouldn't she? Yeah, because we want her to stay next to the nest, so I don't think you're going to be doing any moving right now, little Fawn. You're going to have to stay right there to make sure all of the babies are safe and sound. And instead, why don't we bring Thistle down here too? I think he might take up the position right on top of the stump next because he has quite a few females in the tribe that he could breed with his immunity genes. In fact, Fawn is one of the ones who matches up perfectly, and because she has the Megaloceros horns in her genetics, she's quite important for us to breed. And speaking of which, let's make sure that the mutation menu is set up correctly from Snowdrop's baby too, just like before. I do believe we had the hind legs in there for Goji, because he does have those frog toes, of course. Despite the fact that he can actually hop around quite far with his frog toes since he does have the running leg, it would be much more beneficial if the babies had the normal hind legs instead. And then of course the big body was in there because both of their parents only have the normal body, so we want the big body for the extra cold resistance. Now I believe it's just our hunting party back here left. So can you guys find anything to possibly snatch up? No, it looks like all of the bunnies are gone, so let's start making your way down the mountainside. We'll keep our ears open so we can definitely hear those bunnies as they scoot away. Okay, so we have one right here on top of these clovers. How close can you guys actually get to it, I wonder? I don't think it's going to be close enough, so let's try to surround the bunny instead. We'll have Avalanche go on this side, and then we could have Fang try to wrap around the other side, just so we can kind of corner this guy in between us all. We might even be able to light up some more bunnies over here. Yes, definitely. Okay, so we know there is some life spawning out in these dark portions of the island, but still no deer. Still no deer on this island, so I'm not sure if we're going to find it this time, but I certainly hope so because that would definitely help us replenish our stores. Now everyone else is going to have to stay exactly where they are, I believe, because we want Fawn right next to the babies. So let's go ahead and skip the day and see what our brand new, very last little baby of Snowdrop is going to look like. Hopefully it'll have the digging trunk and not those gills. Oh no, digging trunk, but you look absolutely adorable, and it's another male too. That's always good to see, so the blight of males might finally be over. You know, he looks almost exactly like his brother, just minus those panda patterns. In fact, I think their genetics are exactly the same. The only difference is in the immunity genes and the pattern that they're showing. So very, very interesting. It seems like Anime may have had her hands in this nest again. So I think we'll name this baby Kindle, because he does look very, very fiery with that lovely orange mane of his and the orange fur too. And then we're going to have to repair this nest, or maybe just dig it up for now, because instead we could have Fawn scoot over to this side of the baby so she'll still be able to breed with Thistle. Let's have him use his turns first, though it looks like they may have worked on the first try despite their low fertility. So we still have enough energy to have her place down a nest right next to the stump, and now they can start their very first family together, now that all of the other families have kind of moved on and they're left with these empty nests. I think Fawn is ready to start her own family finally. She has taken care of so many different babies. She definitely deserves to have some of her own too. So let's have Thorn start making his way down to the shores too. I'm sure he is quite curious as to where his sister Lavender got off to, and we definitely want him to help her out if she finds any leeches. She could scoot a little bit further into the water. Let's see if she can find any fish down here. So far, it is very, very quiet. I don't think we're going to find any fish if we can't see those little kelp spots, because that seems to be where they spawn. So we might be completely bare of fish in this ocean. We probably will have to go search out the leeches instead, but that is perfectly fine. I'm sure she's going to be a very, very apt leech slayer. Now, how are we doing over here? It looks like Ko Anais has unfortunately passed away, and the balanced bear has definitely locked her eyes right on Rala. It seems like she is chasing her down, so let's have Nip finally swoop in and poison the bear for us. And then he could probably scoot over to the other side of Rala, so he's a little bit further away. He has gotten quite reckless now that Fang is not breathing down his neck. Now that she's not watching over his shoulder to make sure that he's not doing anything crazy, he definitely feels that freedom and he is taking full advantage of it. So now that Snowflake is poisoned, she should be losing 1 extra day of life every single time we pass the turn, and we can have Rala go to town yet again, slapping away at this balanced bear and then scooting off so she can't get hit. Nettle can do the same with 2 more blows and then jump right behind Nip. He looks like quite the valiant warrior, all things considered, standing in between Nettle and the balanced bear, keeping her safe. And oh my gosh, I just realized too, now that the snow has melted, here is where all of our permanent nests were. Perfect, because we do have quite a few creatures in the area. Maybe Nip will actually be able to start his own family. He has 9 days remaining on his lifespan, and he was like the one savior of the mountain, as we were calling him before, so he definitely also deserves to have some children of his own. Maybe after the balanced bear is taken care of and we don't have it looming over any of our potential babies, we could have him make his way over to those nests and start a family with maybe even Nettle. Maybe that would work. Their immunity genes do line up very nicely, and she is also quite healthy. Look at that. No blindness in her genetics, no hemophilia. Yeah, I think we will probably do that, especially since they're kind of bonding here in this very troubling time. So let's have Anasi come around the other direction. Maybe she could scoot on top of this stump for now just to kind of scope out the area a little bit more, and then she'll be ready to also swoop in on the bear as soon as we pass the day. We have this meat over here to gather up with Goji, and then maybe he should meet up with Violet, since she is kind of leaving to, oh my goodness, find those roots. Let's see, can we actually get that bunny too? I think we could have maybe Goji chase it down for us, but he's going to be out of energy, isn't he? Okay, so he's going to have to leave that bunny there for now, but we could light up the area at least, just so somebody else could find it instead. And then maybe we'll have more roots to dig up? Yeah, we have one right over here. There we go. Oh, your mother would be so proud of you, digging up all of the tasty roots that you can find in her memory. And actually, speaking of which, we might want to have Violet start making her way over to this side of the island, because this does seem to be where all of the tasty roots have spawned. So it might be in her best interest to maybe go up the mountainside with her father, and we'll see if they can gather up some more food for us. I think we will do that in the next episode, and of course, finish off this balanced bear once and for all, so we'll have yet another lovely feast to hopefully sustain all of our new babies. Nip is going to start a family. Of course, we have our potential Megaloceros family back here too. We will have to make sure that we place some sort of paw in the mutation menus so Fawn won't pass her crippled paw over to her babies. And they are going to be watching very closely over little Kindle, it seems, because his family has kind of moved on without him. But not without good reason, because of course Lavender is hard at work trying to find her own sources of food with her very, very unique set of skills, so hopefully she will be able to succeed in the next episode too. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!